Hi, in 2005, when JSail appeared on Wonder Worlds, many coaches were simply amazed by its revolutionary shape. It was analyzed by many technicians and most of them didn't like it. They thought it had to be the excellent sailor, Tina Lutz, who won in spite of the sail. But in 2006, JSail won again, and this time with a different sailor, Julian Autenried. Well, to resume it, JSail is now the most copied sail ever. Thanks to its thrust and unwind angle, since then JSail has accompanied 24 sailors to the podiums in the World Championships and 74 more boys and girls in the Continentals. No other brand can boast the same. In this video, I'll explain you how to get the best performance of your JSail, how to rig it in the way that will be good for all wind strengths, and also how to tune it for the different sailing conditions. Let's start with the rigging. There are three things I'd like you to understand. First is that the Optimist does not rig a Marconi sail, and what you adjust is not the Cunningham but the gooseneck bridle, which has a different function. Second is that the JSails are designed with a determined left curve, and it has to be respected in all wind conditions. And third is that all masts are different, even in the case of masts of the same brand and model. Your mast has its own stiffness and bends, making a unique curve, but we don't want it to affect the sail shape, which would depower it. Look at this. The mast bends, producing a curve, which is transferred to the sail by the ties. It flattens the sail's front third, depowering it. This section is the one that gives you the most thrust and power to climb the waves. You want it to look always perfect. It is obviously necessary to compensate the curve made by the mast in order to keep the luff's natural shape in all sailing conditions, and the way we have to solve it is by rigging the sail correctly. Start rigging the sail to the boom. Give 2 turns to the corner ropes and only 1 to the intermediate ties, but just a bit less than 1 cm at all points. New knots, and they work fantastic. JSail is already providing splice Dyneema ropes, but if you don't have them, you can do something similar with your own ropes. The best stuff for the corners and also for the gooseneck bridle is the 2.2 mm Vectran line, reference EX13672 of OptiPads. Fold the end of the rope and make a knot. Pass the other end through the small loop and make a ball knot at the desired point. Thus, we made something like a buttonhole and a button, and instead of doing and undoing knots, we will button and unbutton the rope. It's much easier and it perfectly keeps the sizes. Put the clue corner ropes, remember, just a bit less than 1 cm between the sail and the boom, and only 2 mm between the sail and the mast. Then put the boom intermediate ties, again leaving a bit less than 1 cm. I highly recommend to put a thin rope between the boom clue rope and the kicker. It avoids the clue rope to go to the gooseneck fitting, which changes the luff tension and even can break the class rules by increasing the distance to the sail. Unfurl the sail. Put the head corner ropes, remember only 2 mm to the mast. Rig the sprit. And step the mast on your boat. Now tighten completely the outhole, tighten the sprit to create a deep fold on the sail, and then tighten the sheet to make the fold disappear. Now the mast is bending, check the distance between the sail and the mast. It should be exactly 1 cm in the deepest point, not more, but also not less. Here you can see that it's clearly more than 1 cm. It is because the distance at the top of the mast is too long. If this happens, unstep the mast and readjust the corner ropes. Do it as many times you need to have 1 cm in the deepest point. Now it is perfect. The mast bends in its way and the sail luff is where it was designed to be, not forced by the mast. Time to adjust the gooseneck bridle. What we want is to remove the tension wave on the sail parallel to the luff. Use a long rope with a knot at one of its ends and pass the other one through the gooseneck holes. Slowly pull the boom up to make the wave almost disappear and make some knots over the gooseneck fitting. Now you know that the maximum luff tension is at exactly 0 tons at the bridle. Time for the mast ties. Again a new knot. Put the tie around the mast and make a very tight knot. The purpose is to fix the rope at the desired height. Then go through the eyelet and make a new knot, but do it carefully, respecting the distances from the sail to the mast at each of the eyelets. When you finish, the sail has to look exactly the same than before putting the ties. Okay, we prepare the sail for very strong winds, but what about the light winds? Is the sheet, the outhole and the sprit. Give the boom bridle a complete turn, put it again on the mast fitting and tighten the kicker as you can see on the video. Adjust the sprit to the new necessities and tighten the outhole to remove all the waves from the sail foot. And look how beautiful the sail looks now for the light winds. It has its perfect shape and the luff is exactly where you want it to be, without any tension of the ties. In reality, what we did is to adapt the sail to a particular mast. No matter if the wind is light or strong, the sail will always perform its best. The only thing we have to do is to adjust the sail controls to the wind we have to sail with. A very important point is the mast rake. Speed and upwind angle depend a lot on it. I've seen too frequently sailors using a measurement tape to set their mast rake before going to the water. This is absolutely useless and I recommend not to do it. The correct rake is never a number but a balance between the sail power center and the daggerboard center, and this balance can only be found when you are sailing. In these images, you can see a boat with the mast too much forward. The sail center pushes the bow downwind. When the sailor releases the rudder, the boat points immediately lower. She has to compensate all the time with the rudder to avoid it. Now the rake is too short. When the sailor releases the rudder, the boat even tugs. Again, she has to pull the rudder all the time to avoid the boat to turn to the wind. Seen from behind, you can see that the sailor is very frequently pulling the rudder to keep the boat going straight. It increases the rudder drag and even creates turbulences on the water. This is perfectly comparable to using the handbrake. So, how to do it? By correcting the rake once you're in the regatta field. Sail up with an absolutely flat and release the rudder. If the boat turns to the wind, push the mast more forward. Do the opposite if the tendency is to turn to leeward. Do it as many times as you need, and don't be scared if you have to give many turns at the mast base. The boat has to be balanced whatever the wind is. Now the boat is perfectly balanced. When the sailor releases the rudder, the boat turns very slowly to the wind. The rudder doesn't offer any resistance and the boat sails fast. Remember to do this always before any race, even if the wind strength doesn't seem to change. Well, and that's all about how to prepare your JSail. I hope that this helps you to find the best performance. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you at the top positions in the regatta's results lists. Frozen.